Hey, welcome back to Kitchen Hero. On today's episode, we're going to make pancetta with peas and linguine with shaved Parmesan on top. It's super easy, super quick, literally 10 to 15 minute dish. As long as it takes to boil your water and your pasta, that's about as long as the dish takes. Just sit back, relax, have fun, drink a glass of wine, and watch how easy this is. And please like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave below. If you want to see any other videos, please let me know in the comments. Thank you. Alright, so here's today's ingredients, guys, just laid out in front of you. We have some linguine, a little pat of butter, some nice Parmesan cheese. Don't use the pre-grated or anything, do it yourself because you get a much better result. Frozen peas, you're going to go in the last second, but like I said, just simple basic frozen peas and your diced pancetta, which you should be able to find in the deli aisle of any major grocery store now these days. Also, we've got our pan set up on the heat, and over here as well we've got our water boiling right now. Every time we boil water, I always tell you to add a good, 2 or 3 big pinches of kosher salt to season the water. So we're going to do that first. We're going to drop our pasta. 1, 2. You want it to be salty, okay? You want to get that flavor of the ocean. Alright, so you see we got the pan going right now. We're dropping our pasta in the boiling water. Just follow the directions of what it says. You want to cook it a little bit al dente. Not too bad, but just enough where there's still a little bit of bite left. You don't want to have it too soft and overcooked because you're still going to cook it in the pan a little bit. So now to the pan, we're going to add a little pancetta. And basically want to render this, brown this up, get some color on this. This is going to give us the majority of our flavor for the dish. So definitely we want to take our time and do this right. Alright, so you can see here we're rendering. You want to get it hot, but you want to get it where it's scorching. So we're going to let it keep doing its job right here. Alright, and as you can see, it's starting to heat up a little bit. You can hear the sizzle. Depending on what you're cooking on, this, what I'm using, is not the best. It's a little, but like I said, once it gets hot, it'll get going. You just want to kind of keep an eye on it, keep it moving a little bit so it doesn't stick. You can start to see some of the fat starting to render. You can see it starting to pile up. This is what we want. It's going to be good flavor. So not right now, basically, we've got about 8 or 9 minutes left on the pasta. We're going to let this cook. And basically, they should just about match up with how they're going. Just remember, you want to stir your pasta, keep an eye on it so it doesn't clump together. Stir it every minute or so, just kind of break it apart. As you see, this is starting to go pretty good now. We're getting good sizzle. Just keep it moving in the pan. It's kind of, you don't want to move it too much. Let it do its thing, but you don't want to let it stick either. And when you're doing this, you almost want it to get looking like crispy little bacon. You'll start to see the corners brown up a little bit. It'll shrink a little bit once some of the liquid's out of it. Liquid and fat. Another couple minutes, we're getting there. Starting to kind of render down. Starting to get crispy, the smaller pieces. Like I said, you see a little bit of smoke coming off, a little bit of steam, but just keep an eye on it. Alright, now if you see it start to smoke a little bit, turn down the heat. Just kind of keep an eye on it. If you have to, just pick it up, take it off the stove, put it somewhere else. Let it cool down just a little bit. So we're getting close. It's starting to bubble, starting to get crispy. I'd say another minute or two at max. Alright, I think we're just about there. Now you got to kind of keep an eye on it, and depending on how much oil's in there, you might want to remove a little bit. So it's probably the easiest thing to do. So you got too much oil here, maybe you want to tilt this down just a little bit like this, hold it with one hand, scrape everything up to the top, and we're just going to take a spoon, remove, I'd say, about half this oil, because you'll still want to leave a little bit to coat your pasta to give the dish some flavor. So we're just going to put that over to the side. The pasta's almost done. We've got about 1 more minute. At this point, take a nice, Pyrex measuring glass like this, and you're gonna go in your pasta water that's cooking. Now I'd say get about anywhere from 1/4 of a cup to a 1/2 cup. We're just gonna set this aside right now, because we're gonna use that later to help thicken our sauce, give it a little bit of body. It's got some starch in there, some flavor from the pasta, some salt. So it's gonna kind of help bring everything together at the very end. All right, so at this point, we're gonna turn this down pretty much to almost low. We don't want this to crisp up any more than that. And I'd say right where we're at now, we're gonna take our pat of butter and put that in, and that's just gonna add a little bit of extra flavor as well. So just gonna mix this all around, make sure everything's kind of loose, because the pasta is about to come in here shortly. Now when it comes to the frozen peas, it's very simple. They're frozen. It'll literally take about a minute to cook. So we don't want to have them in more than a minute or two, else they'll get mushy. Alright, now you want to try your pasta at this point. So just take out a piece, try it out, see how it is. Like I said, you don't want to overcook it, but you want to have a little bit of bite, because you're still going to cook it in the pan here for about a minute or two. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, so right now you're going to take your tongs and just pull out some of this pasta. We're going to drain this and put this in here with this. Alright, so that's going now. What we're going to do, we're going to add some fresh pepper. I want to add a decent amount. This is a bold dish. It's got a bunch of bold flavors, so you want to add a little bit extra. So let's toss this around, and let's get the pasta coated in that nice fat and butter that we just put in there. And this is just going to start soaking up this flavor. Alright, so right now you might want to turn up the heat just a little bit to keep it going. You can see, pasta's still cooking. Everything's starting to incorporate, so we're going to add our peas at this point. It's going to take about a minute or two to get those up to temp. Now, when it comes to salt, you've already got your water with some salt in there, so you want to kind of be careful on how much you season this. The pancetta is salty as well. It has an earthy flavor, and kind of look at your pan. You can see right now, got a little bit of oil, but I want to get a little bit more liquid, so we're going to splash maybe about 2 or 3 tablespoons of our pasta water and mix it around. This is going to help our peas. It's going to help everything coat the pasta. Flip it around. And same thing. Just watch your heat. We're going to keep this going. It's going to keep sucking up some of that liquid. We're going to watch this as well. And at this point, I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. And then what I want to do is I want to get a fork and taste it first. Now, once you're done with this fork, you're done with it. Don't use it again. It's bad kitchen etiquette. So let's try this first. All right. So when I try this, I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this liquid. And I'm going to add just a little pinch of kosher salt as well. Here we go. Same thing. We're just going to mix this up and wait for this liquid to incorporate in the pasta. We're making it almost like a sauce. And if you look here, you can kind of see how it looks glossy. We're almost there. I'd say about 10 more seconds. We're going to shut the heat off. Heat shut off. Alright, now we're at this point where it's time to plate this dish. Everything's incorporated, it looks good. Kind of like a velvety look on that sauce that we made. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our tongs we used. We're looking to get the pasta first. And then I'm going to take a spoon and kind of get some of the peas and the other liquid we had as well. Just want to do that right over the top and get some of that pancetta as well. So that's where all the big flavor is. Alright, so we've got that plated now. And now we've got the final touch. You're going to take your fresh Parmesan and we're just going to grate some of this over the top. So it's a nice big chunks, and this, like I said, this is nice, good, real Parmesan, not the stuff in the tin that's already grated. Just have the nice little crystals in it that'll give it flavor. And there you go. And if you want to, you know, do it a little chef's touch at the very end, you can take some of your favorite olive oil, and we're just going to go gently just over the top and kind of glaze it. Alright guys, there we go. Easy dish, literally took 10 to 15 minutes max. All these ingredients are easy to find, they're simple. There's really not a lot of skill involved. It's just layering a little bit of flavor and keeping an eye on what you're doing. And like I said, you can impress your friends and family with this dish, and honestly, it tastes great. That's why I love making it, because it's easy, it's quick, and it tastes great. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any comments you have, please leave below. Anything good or bad, I'm open to read it all, and any suggestions for future videos. Thank you guys once again for watching Kitchen Hero. Catch you next time. Thank you.